Morning, everybody. I want to say, let me actually update what we're working on today for the title here. Can't type already. All right. Today we're not going to work on the Cosmos DB Gremlin or the Gremlin API ORM. Instead, I'm actually going to do some actual regular work, just because I need to get some things done and figure, what I'm working on is not proprietary. I figured I would just continue doing that here. But sure enough, how's everyone's day going? I mean, hope everyone's going well. Hey, Kevin, how's it going? But I hope everyone's having a great day so far. My day's been going pretty well. Been an interesting day. We do monthly releases, and basically the company has decided to echo. Let's do this. I had the same problem yesterday. Here, let me know if that fixes the problem. But so yeah, we do monthly releases, and great. I've got to screwed something up in one of my OBS settings, figure out how to fix that correctly. All right, we do monthly releases. Sure enough, company decided we need to do basically a package change of how we package some of our products, and of course they were thinking, oh, this is easy peasy. And we're like, well, there's some code changes we have to make, and I've been dealing a lot with that today. It's been fun, just trying to coordinate everything and still pull off a release early June. Hey, Mike, how's it going? All right, so, but on to what I'm working on. So what I'm working on, one of the things we do, so think about our system. Where I work, ScholarX, we build platforms for medical education. The primary use is for students studying for what's called the USMLE, which is the United States Medical License Exam. Really long exam, so people study for long periods of time, whole courses in medical school for this. And so we provide content and practice tests, and all this type of stuff. One of the things we allow you to do throughout everything is make notes and to actually make markups. So like highlight parts of the text and then make notes on top of that highlight and so forth. And we part of the notes actually allows for images. Well, those images all along have been stored inside the SQL database. Anyone who's done SQL database long enough knows that that's not really the right place to put images. And it was just more of a matter of convenience. It wasn't, I think the thought always was to get them out of there, but it just happened. But on top of that, the even bigger problem, our markups, we're finding that we're getting more images in there than we expected. Because basically if you ended up marking up, and your markup included an image that was even part of our own images, it's actually getting captured and stored as a binary in the database, not even a separate file, right? So what I'm working on is, I've already actually updated our APIs. It's not in production yet, but I've already updated our APIs so that actually what it does is it still gets that binary down, because we're not going to change that, at least for now. But it's now pulling that binary out, and it's put into a blob in Azure Store. Much better way, and then basically replaces the binary with the URL to that blob. So obviously, much better way of doing that. It allows for allows the database size to be a whole lot smaller, because I'm not storing some of these images are a couple of megabytes. But also allows the application to actually run a little bit faster, because now we're sending URLs, the browser gets that, and the browser just got, asynchronously grabs those images. So anyway, I've been working on this, and working on a utility to actually move the current images out of there into all right, sorry, hold on me. I also did start a conversation right before all this on Teams. I have to sort of pay attention a little bit too. So yeah, so write is a utility that will move the images out, right? And funny thing is it's I was having a little bit of trouble, and I'm just going to do things a little bit differently. So I have to pull them out of two different tables. Hold on one second. Sorry, again, like I said, I did a bad thing and started a Teams conversation like 10 minutes before I go on online. But so anyway, I have been moving from a notes table to a markups table. The notes table, it's done, it's working. It's the markups table that I need to work on. Really, the issue here is it's a lot of data. So there's 83 million records that we're going through. And basically, I'm having to search an nvarchar max for a piece of string, a piece of text. So here, I'll show you what I'm doing. Here we go. Let me make it bigger. So you can see I'm doing ignore some of this. Some of this was just because I was testing to see if something would work better. But from my markup contents table, and then I'm going to here where HTML, which is the name of the column, is like this, right? Yeah, it's well, now I'm trying to figure out which one's the worker mistake: the images in the database or my my auto echoing, because auto echoing is also a rookie mistake. But so anyway, what was I going to say? So yeah, this is causing this to be a very expensive query, and we're okay with that. We know that while this is running, it's just going to be an expensive hit. We're actually running on a replicate. We're going to run on a replicate database, so it doesn't cause any issues. But I was still having problems when I was just trying to grab the whole thing. It takes like 45 minutes to run this query, and it is actually bombing out inside of here. Yeah, I know how you feel. I sometimes wonder why I do this, although I am enjoying it. So back to this. Let's so what I need to do. So what I was testing right before, or actually before I had a meeting and I had to stop things. I was looking, what if? So I was timing out because I basically I didn't have this in here, right? I was just grabbing from the whole thing. So looking at 83, 84 million records. And basically, it just wasn't working. It was interesting. It actually, use a data reader because that's faster. And it actually, it was bombing out on the read. It was taking more than 30 seconds to get the first read response back. I could do that. I actually could do this as I could do this in a framework, but I really don't want the overhead. I'm really just trying to do something very simple here. Again, this is basically throw a code, this utility. The other thing, I could do this as instead of a data reader, I could do it as a data set. But actually, data sets are a little bit heavier on the database, so that's why I'm trying to keep it with a data reader. But anyway, what I'm going to do is I'm going to change. What I want to do right now is I'm going to change this. So instead of just grabbing this one particular day, which was interesting, even this one day we had 622 markups that had image somewhere in there. So what I want to do is I'm going to basically iterate through all the days that this thing has been going on. All right. So in order to do this, let's see. I can move some things around so I can still see my chat window. I am going to be looking at some things like I'm not going to show the database directly to just in case I accidentally show something I shouldn't be showing. when you have the database open. All right, so what I want to first do, I'm gonna add a couple things in here. In my utility, I'm gonna create a new class, and oh, hold on, I'm also logging into my database. Oh, I gotta log in. Just a second. I can't believe I closed my database earlier. I had it open. And of course, I appreciate MFA, but I also hate it because, oh no, it's not going to make me do MFA. That's interesting. Yeah, I agree with Kevin. I did. I mean, you guys know me. I go big or I don't go, right. But I went every day, every weekday to start off with, which is definitely an interesting way to do this. And I've debated whether every day really makes sense. But it kind of like I see Kevin doing it, so I kind of feel like I got to do it, you know. All right. All right. So what I want to do, so I have this daytime helper. I'm just going to create a couple of methods to kind of help me out. First thing I want to do. Yeah, Fritz is like the rock star of all this. I'm just going to create actually I need to make this, well, I'm going to create an extension method first, just to make things a little bit easier. But we're going to have, let's see, we're going to have public static, date time, end of day. Just a simple method to give me, you know, to return back the end of the day, so it makes it easier on my queries. Sure enough, for anyone who's new, I know every once in a while I have some new folks on here. So extension methods are ways to extend someone else's method or someone else's type, I should say. So in here, I'm actually extending the date time, which is part of .NET, you know, so forth. And you know, so we take in date time as a date, and this is what makes this an extension method, right? And so, and this is going to be really simple. It's just going to return a new date time, date, year, date, month, date, day, and 23 in a day, so 23, 59, 59, 999, just to get me the very end of a day for an in-between thing. And then we're really going to do we're going to have one more extension method. This is just going to be, you call this midnight. And here, this will return basically zeros. Pretty simple here. And it, again, for those who are newer and haven't seen extension methods before, so now what I can do, I'm going to go in here. So like in this query, what I could do, instead of the way how I'm doing this, you could actually do like this to make this. We can actually say something like, well, let's just say I had a var date time, date time, date, day, UTC. Hold on. There we go. So let's say I have like that. That. Keep on. I either forget or put in parentheses when I don't need them. And then what? I mean, so with the extension method, I can literally do like this. I can say, you know, end of day, right? And so that, you know, that's really nice, right? You know, so I can do something like that, right? Which just makes it a little bit easier. I'm actually only going to have it in one area, but still makes it easier. So that's basically what I'm trying to accomplish with those two extension methods. Now I want to do something else. I want to add, define where I did this before. So I want to iterate every day through a period of time, right? So I want to give it a begin and start date and then iterate through all that. So we're going to turn a new date time. We'll call this each day. Date time, start date, and date time, end date. And here, this is going to be very simple. It's going to be not even a for each. So we're going to do day equals start date, start. I don't know why. Why is it not picking up my there? Oh, I typed it in wrong. Oh, for some reason I'm getting every once in a while my keyboard's double typing. I don't know if I have to check some of these keys out, or if my keyboard's starting to go bad or something. All right. So here, let me just create this. End date. And update. Oh. All right. My VP is asking for a call. So let me finish this, and then I'm gonna have to step away for a minute. All right, I typed all this. I'm just gonna case. Oh, because it helps if I spell yield correctly. Takes call live. Yeah. Let's do that. I'm not sure what he wants. He knows what I'm doing too. All right, so just real quick, let me explain what I did, and I am gonna have to go away for a moment here. So I'm just going through here. I'm going through each day within this period, right? You know, and we're adding a day, and each time we're just going to yield that date. Yeah. All right. Here, I'm gonna mute my mic here for a second, and I'm gonna see what he needs. Hopefully, I can handle this in just. All right. Let me. And of course he's yeah. Well, actually he's messaging me. Oh, now he's calling me. All right, hold on a second, folks. All right, everyone, thank you so much. Sorry for that. He does say, I hope everyone enjoys the live stream. Let me send one quick message here. So I talked about we're doing this whole separate release in the middle of everything, and that's what he was calling me about. Just one second here. Okay. Back to what we're working on here. Making sure what I was reading on. So I've written this method that will give me each day. All right, and so again, it will just iterat through a start and end date, and allow me to do an iteration. What's going to allow me to do. All right, I'm actually looking at something I wrote very similar, but I cannot show. Bad enough I'm doing calls on streams and everything. I'm definitely not going to show some production code that is actually a little bit proprietary. So there we go. All right, so now got those in here. In this, so, and what I'm simply doing is I'm trying to take less hits, right? So I'm just grabbing all the IDs, and then I go back and I grab the whole thing, right? Otherwise, I'm just gonna actually the code I'm trying to reference probably was copied from Stack Overflow. Oh, for heaven's sakes. People do not understand what it means to be at lunchtime. Okay. Again, that's what I get for sending a message right before lunch. All right. So what I want to do, so in this method, I'm just getting all the IDs. So we're just going to change this. Do I want to keep recreating this? Yes, I do. And there's a reason. I'm actually connecting to 2 different databases. So that's why I'm opening and closing my connections. So it's along with the connection string, I want date time. And really, let's call this date. That's really what we're doing here. And then this is going to be as simple as basically this query. We're going to go in here, we're going to create parameters. And the first one is we called start date. And this will turn, we will have a day, midnight. See command parameters, add the value, and date. And I know why it's a red squiggly. Said I either. Thanks for joining us for a little bit, Kevin. Hope you have an awesome day. All right, and definitely I will say for those on the stream, you know, if you're looking for other streams to watch, I definitely check out Kevin Griffin, the one Kev Griff. Does I really do enjoy his streams. All right, so all right. Oh, I was gonna say, so for anyone newer on here, when you're doing your queries, you definitely want to do parameters, right? I could just stick the dates right in there, but this is cleaner. Even an internal app just makes this a lot more sense than putting values straight in. So now I'm just going to change this to start date, end date, and there. Now that will grab those values. Now, just to be sure, make sure we're not doing something silly. Of course, this is going to be a problem. Now, I'm just going to just want to test this first, just to make sure that this actually is working the way I expect it to work. Before I get any further along, I'm going to go ahead and run this. This is a console app. I am going to have to keep the console app off the stream because I'm putting in a production connection string. I know Mike really wants me to show that connection string to the whole world, but I'm not going to do it. I do like my job. All right. So now we're now in here. I'm stepping through this. I'm going to skip the notes. I know that part works, and I really don't want to wait for it to run for 100,000 records. All right. So in here, we're updating our bar. And I really didn't mean I stepped over. It's not really what I meant to do. In case it airs off, but see what happens. So it's taking a moment, which I knew it would take a little bit. like I said, this is still a slower query. There we go. There we go. Cool. Oh. Yeah. The other interesting part, I mean, you know, I have 1,700 records for this day today. This is definitely you know, so the images in the markups were an unintentional thing. But we don't. It's a funny thing is it's not what it was originally designed for, but it's like it still it makes sense for them to be in there, except for not to be in the database. All right, anyway, so that works. Surprised that so far today there's been 1,700 in there. Let's see. I'm just kind of curious. Query. Ah, well, it doesn't matter. We do like 45,000 markups a day. 45 to 60,000 markups. Depends on the day. Actually, with COVID, it's been higher. We're noticing more use of our system, which is good. All right. So now what I want to do. Now I need to change this process markup. So this was originally built to do everything all at once. Now I want to do this by day. So let's see. Okay. We can ignore the progress bar stuff for now. Again, I really have the progress bar in there more, so as we're running this, we know it's actually still running, or anything else. And we want to iterate through each day. Oh, I do need to look up something. There was a reason why I opened up the data. Oh. And you're not seeing what I'm typing. That's the purpose. I'm just looking up what the first date is, what everything is. All right. Well, I'm waiting for that query to run. So what we want to do, so we're going to say for each our day in date time helper, each day. And our start date is, I'm going to change this here in a moment. So basically, we need that. Why? All right, so yeah, my first date is January 20th. So this will be new date time. You know what? Let's do this a little bit different. I'm actually going to feed these in. Originally, I was saying I was just going to hard code the dates, but actually, you know, like if this fails in the middle, I'm like have an awesome lunch. You know, if this fails in the middle or something, I can start it over and not have to start from the very first. That's why I'm gonna do that. Sure enough, what I am doing in my main, I am getting some good inputs. These will still work for start date. Oh, yeah. Our start date. All right, let's do that. Here. So in here, I'm gonna create a method called private static time get date. All right, this will just prompt in the console for a date. That in. Here's our return value, and then we'll go into this loop. Basically, we'll ask for a date until user gives us a date. Input equals console. All right, and we'll continue to do this until date time try parse input out return value. All right, so basically, we're just gonna feed in a prompt, and we'll just keep on prompting them for the date until they give us a date. So then it actually returns a date. Bracket. So then console part here, our start date equals get date. Start date. Move our end date. End date. One more second. I need to checking responses to my query that I had to ask. All right, so now I'm feeding that in, and now I pass that in there. Now we go back down here. Now, correctly put this as start date, date. And then in here, really take all this, put it into here. This would be day. I'm just going to take that out. I'm not going to do. You're right, anyways. I'm not going to do that right. I'm not going to. I'll fool with the progress bar here in a moment. I'll talk about that progress bar here in just a moment, making sure everything else I want to do is what I do. Yeah. So now that's breakpoint where I want. Make sure we now have something working what we want to do. Again, it's off screen because putting in real connection strings with, more importantly, with real username and passwords. And then we're gonna nope. All right, sure enough, so I fed it. I gave it the, so you can see we're collecting all this information, the connection strings, storage container names and such. So the dates I fed in January 1st of this year and January 30th. I'm not going to actually run through all those days. Again, I'm doing this as a test. So we'll go in here. Oh. Start that again. Didn't mean to kick that off. Meant to skip over that, not step into that. All right. Okay. Skip over that. I could just comment it out, I guess. Now I want to step in here. So again, this will iterate through each day. Sure enough, this should be January 1st. And now we'll go into here. And in here, again, the day, January 1st. I will just do a validation I've got this right. So that inquiry or subquery, we're gonna get only those that are this particular day. That, all right. Query run. This will, I mean, like I said, these are expensive queries. All right, getting things and we're getting values back. Here, 51. That's for January 1st. All right, so now we're in there. I mean, let's go back to here. So yeah, it will be a greater than 1, greater than 0. Create my new connection here. Again, I'm doing this because I'm actually reading and writing from different data. Actually, in this one, I'm reading again, but the query is not so heavy. Actually, I'm going against established index as well. That bombs, but that's not what I was. Sure enough, the next string I'm using does not have rights to create a table, so I'm sure that's what's on me, but I thought this table was already here. To be honest, I don't know if I really do. Just checking here. Definitely there. I'm going to, well, why did it? Oh. This should be if the table doesn't exist. There we go. That's what the problem is. Yeah. I'm curious, especially the ones who, anyone who's been watching the last several days as compared to today. I mean, is it interesting to watch, actual regular work where I can't show everything? I mean, or should I stick to stuff that where, where other than passwords and stuff, I can show everything? I'm curious. Part of the reason I asked that, so as my job, I don't do as much production code. I do more of a exploratory code. Not to say I don't do any production code. I don't do much, in all honesty. As a director, I mean, it's interesting with my job. I am director, but do have some development responsibilities. I am responsible for the architecture, which is why I do exploratory work. All right, so those take a moment, but I wonder. I've been, thinking of what to stream each day. I mean, and trust me, I got plenty of personal projects also, but I have thought maybe of doing some of my exploratory work in here because sometimes, sometimes the exploratory work is not. I don't have to necessarily use companies. Now I can do. All right, so we're in here. I should run just to make sure that I did fix that problem. Yeah, there we go. That fixes that problem. We're gonna go in here. Okay, well, yeah, that's fine. I'll explain that progress bar here in a moment. Because that is pretty cool, this progress bar. So, all right, so now we're just gonna, so now we have this whole list of markups. We have 651, it's just IDs is all we have. And now we're gonna go in here. And this really is a duplicate of code that is working, so this should work just fine. Should and do are not sort of the same thing. All right, so we're going here. So this is going to go in here. It's going to, we're going to go and we're going to get that markup. So the original note, they should markup. We're going to, variables. Now we're going to do another query here. Now, see, now I'm doing a much better query, right? I'm searching against this content table, which is at least a good part. If you're going to have an nvar_char max field in your table, it's actually better to separate that into its own table, and you actually get better performance out of it. Even though it means another join and such, it actually improves everything. At any rate, let's see. We're gonna go from contents, inner join. Basically, what this is doing, this is really on this ID. Give me the mark for that particular. Oh, and the reason why I'm inner join is I need user profile. That's used as part of how this all works. So we're gonna go in here and that's good. Actually, I'll show this off. So we're gonna get the reader. All right, and it's just gonna get someone's HTML. I don't really want to focus too much on that because it is actually real code and it is someone's stuff. This is just a GUID. Doesn't really matter, but show it too long there. All right. Why multiple records? This isn't right. Markup D. Things not right with my query. Yeah, something's definitely not right with my query. So I have all right. So let's. I can share the query part of it. Just can't share the results. All right. So markup contents HTML markup on the markup content. For join markups. Out. Chadwick. Here's why you don't assume you don't go on assumptions. It would help if I had my where clause. I even create the parameter. I never use the parameter. So where markups dot ID equals markup ID. All right. And again, this is, I see this. I don't see it so much on our team, but I see this a lot of times where people are like, oh, I copied it from the other thing. It should just work just fine. Let's just move the QA, right? And what happens is it didn't work right fine, and you get a bug right away. And so part of the, why, I didn't just step over things. All right. We're going to go in here. We're going to get that. Get our markups for this day process. Okay. Get that connection. Do that, which just checking the tables there. Again, part I don't care about at the moment. And then we're going to, okay, so we're going to for each this. Now we're going to go in here. We're all good here. Oh, well, it definitely worked. Well, no, it didn't work. I say it definitely worked, but it didn't. Go in here. Oh, let's see here. This proper listen. That's interesting. So it doesn't return something. So why? So my other query is not right. That's interesting. All right, so that query is just not right. because this does not have directed. Again, sorry, I'm doing a query. Okay, yeah. Why did it return? How did it return this ID? All right. Something is not right. This query. Right. Well, you've got something wrong. Started. Let's see this again. Day on 120. That is turning 120, 12 a.m., which is what I'm expecting. Just making sure these are turning what I expect them to return. And 120, 12 a.m. Ah, there's part of my problem. It's part of my problem, but it's also returning stuff. What? No. Oh, no, never mind. 11:59. No, it is. Okay, no, it's right. Okay, I was going to say that wouldn't make sense. All right, so those are right. I know what the problem is. All right. Well, my problem is I'm actually we use a mix of environments right now. I'm actually querying to get my list of things that need to be updated. I'm querying a production database, but I'm actually writing against my development database because I am trying this out. The development database obviously is not up to current. Actually, all the way back from September. That's where my problem's coming. All right. So let's run this again. Oh, I gotta love it. Need to give it different dates. There's still some of this. I mean, so sure enough, some of this is gonna, well, okay, that doesn't. I need to add some better error handling here because that is going to cause an error. Notes, markups. We'll do 1/1/2018. We'll do 2019 instead. Now, if we do this, go in here. Try that again. The wrong key and screwed up where I was at. And again, that's the hard part about doing real work on stream because, like I say, I think I'm gonna make a change here. Skip over that. Go in here. Markup's the process. And this time we now have 622 records. That's pretty darn close to what I had the first time. Okay. Oh. We'll that connection. Now we go in here. Now I got back a value. I actually meant to step in there, but that's okay. I got the value. All right, cool. So what I want to do, let's do well, we'll do that here. All right. So what we'll do, let's keep on going. That's good. I actually do have a value, so you never know because of course people must fool around with. So we're getting this. Really should say original markup. I need to change that. Really should say original HTML. Notes we call it text. Markups we call it HTML. But that's just syntax. Okay, so we're gonna grab those values from there, and I only do that just to make the. So I'm returning a tuple. Trick about the thing I don't like about tuples is that it's item 1, item 2, right? I mean that's the thing that sucks about them. But they're great when I just need something. I don't need to create a whole structure or anything for them. But I'm just putting them in a variable, so anyone who needs to read this code later on better understand what's going on. Why I did. Okay. All right, so we're going to have something. But actually, that handles my error handling. I think I need. All right, now what we're going to do. So here's I'm going to show what happens here. So I've created this process HTML input async. I'm going to step through what this does. In a way how this all works because it's kind of neat. I'm actually in another class library that right now I have a project reference to it so I can step through it. It was like yesterday as I was working on this, I did have to fix something in here. But we're in here, we're passing in an object ID, whatever that would be, passing in our HTML input. So, here you can see like an echo inside my own room. On the stream, is anyone hearing an echo, or is it just me being crazy? It seems like I hear an echo. All right, so what I was saying is, so we're passing out the HTML we want, pass in the storage connection string. I'm not going to highlight over that. Okay, it's just me then. In our container name, like here it's markups, right? So in here, I'm actually using, I'm using this HTML utility pack. Doing a nice job of allowing me to manipulate HTML, right? So we're gonna create that HTML document, and then I'm gonna load that document with this HTML input, which is string. It doesn't even have to be a fully document, just a valid document of HTML. So I pass that in there. And then I'm going to get my nodes, and basically I'm looking for nodes that have the slash image. So we'll get that. I swear I hear an echo. But no one hears on stream, so I'm not going to worry about All right, so now we've got our nodes. Null. Why is it null? Fun time reading all this. Is an image. This is in something. Yes, this is so much fun to read through this. This is trying to figure out what this is in. Yeah, this is like part of the HTML. Huh. All right, well, this isn't gonna be that impressive because it is null. What this would be doing if it did have something is it would well, okay, let's do this because I do want to show this. This is kind of interesting code up. Let me get this restarted here. Kind of show what this is doing. And basically what I've just discovered is we have an even different problem. We're having other binaries that are images, but they're not just a standard image. All right. This time I'm actually going to go through the notes. I was going to do pretty much the same type of thing that we were just doing. It's going to start off getting notes to process. All this one take a couple seconds. This is going to actually grab all the notes instead of just the notes for a particular day. See, that actually runs a whole lot faster. It's a lot less records. There's like 1.5 million notes to process. There's progress bars. Just going to step through this a little bit. On this. Really shouldn't be this big of a deal. My Visual Studio just froze on me. Yeah. This thing just died on me. Let's just go ahead and end it. Full task. All right, well, come on. Die already. There we go. There's. I don't need. Die. Beat. Die, remind me. I never turn on my music. Oh, that won't. All right, now. Oh, this one. All right. I don't know really what happened. Let's try step in through some more code. Make a create a little class settings. And really, I'm just, this is gonna be one of those things. Before I check this in, I'm gonna remove this. But just to make some things a little bit easier, I have a public string read database connection string. Public string. That's all right, and then I'll screen for a second. I'm gonna set these values, and then I can use this as be just a where I don't have to keep on going off screen. All right, now what I can do. And then sure enough, all right, so these are container names, so we're putting the notes. Notes. Putting these in markups. Self-explanatory. All right. Now again, I don't want to check that in. That's not really, especially I don't want to check this in because I now just put in, production connections for that to be checked in. But this will make it a little bit easier. I don't have to go off screen all the time. And more importantly, it also means I don't have to keep on copy and paste them every. A little bit nicer for me. All right. So let's see what happened. That was a little bit odd. It just died to me like this. Now we can see we're just in here. I mean, not much to see in the console. All right, again, I'm gonna step in there. I notice the process. Oh, we've got that working. Now we're going progress bar. We have process. It's actually interesting. I don't necessarily have notes every single day. Like only 1.5% of the notes have an image. All right, so create connection. Do that. All right, so now what I'm going to do, really I'm just trying to get in here. That. All right. To definitely return values. Look like it's that long. All right, I don't know why it froze up like that a moment ago. All right. So what I want, I was just wanting to show how this process image thing is. So again, we're in here. Should have checked this. Is a regular image. This is a regular image that we actually have already handled. Probably because some of this is all right. It's actually what is this doing? I need to check what. Oh wait. Oh, okay. In the development database, I've already handled it. In the production database, it hasn't been handled because I haven't run it across the whole thing, but it run across it first. But let's actually see what would happen here. This is a potential problem I could have when I run this thing. All right, so I mean, basically, it should get me a node. All right. So this will grab all the nodes that are basically have that image tag in them, or all the image nodes, I should say. And then this will go in here. So for each of those nodes, then we're gonna basically, you can set the attribute value. Allows me to overwrite that. Kind of nice. So I give it the attribute name, which is source. And then I go in here and I'll do this process. Okay. This is just going to step into another method I have. And in here, so we're going to pass in the source of the thing we have. And we're basically going to search for this. This should actually come with nothing. It happens to be this image doesn't have that. So that's actually all correct. I actually just making sure this is doing what it should be doing. Yeah, it's just going to, and now the HTML document should still be, or what gets returned is just what was actually sent in. They didn't really do anything in this one. That's fine. Also means I didn't get to show off the whole thing. All right, so that. Actually off. Okay, I violated privacy. Oh, so once I migrated over, I'm actually creating a log. And so the funny part is the goal is actually to get those images out completely out of the database. But what we want to do, just in case, is we're actually going to put them in another table, keep it there for 30 or 60 days before we truly get them out of there, just in case. Okay. I actually understand what the error was. Let's just go ahead and start this off again. Go in here. We can actually skip all the way through here. Okay. Pass that. Skip all the way. So we go in here, run for a couple seconds. Okay. On here the note is already fine. Just skip that. Run to the next one. Okay, so here we go. So here we got, if you can see that, it's probably a little bit small on the stream. You know, I've got this data image and then a whole bunch of binary. That's basically what I'm trying to get at. So what we do, we go in here. Now if I step through here, now I got one that actually will do what I want to do. So again, we'll grab those HTML nodes. Nodes should not be null now. Yeah, definitely. Probably should just be one node. One node. So then we're gonna process through each. And again, I'm basically changing what they are. Allow me to overwrite just that part of it. So in here, I'll end up calling this process image source. So go in and again, this will get the attribute value, and then we're doing this looking for where the data is, starts with this data image. I should grab the value, and more importantly, it verifies that it really has that, which was good. Handled the last one just fine. Now we're going to get the attribute value. So this is going to get the attribute value, which you'll see is this whole big thing, right? Just grabbing that out of there. Then basically, first thing I want to do is I want to pull the file extension. This is a little bit of hard coding here, but this was the best way I could figure out how to do this. So I'm going to do a substring. I'm going to basically, here's where I'm setting the start, right? Where the index of this minus 11. Kind of weird. I tried to do it a little bit fancier, but it ended up being that was the best way to make that work. That gets me the file extension, so we can see this is a PNG. And then we can now get the actual binary. And you can see, I'm going to get the index of the comma. That's basically, if we look at the whole thing again, you can see in here, data image / PNG, semicolon, base 64, comma, right? After that comma is where everything starts, is where the binary starts. So we're going to grab that out. Now I have that. And now I end up calling another method. I did this more just to keep the methods more succinct. So this is going to save image from binary. So what this is going to do is call this method. And here's where I'm actually going to save it into a blob. So I'm passing it, again, the object ID. So whatever object ID I want it to be, does basically have to, well, it doesn't really have to be unique. File extension, and then the actual image in binary format. And we're also passing in, I'm not going to show that, the connection string and our container name, right? And then what we do in here, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to create our file name, right? So I'm just using a GUID as the primary part of the file name. And then I'm getting rid of the semicolon or the dashes because I just don't want them, not needed. And then we add that file extension. So that'll just give me just a unique file name. That's all I want. Here we're using the blob service client, so we'll initialize that with a connection string. We're now going to initialize our client. So and this you do to the container. So your blob service client basically is the account. Your container is the container within that, or your container client is the container within that account. And here we finally create this. And now we're going to get this with the object ID and the file name. And then here was the real trick. It took me a little while to figure this one out. What I have to do is basically I have to move it into a memory stream, right? And then once I have it in the memory stream, that allows me to upload it. Because basically, this upload async, it's one a string, right? So what I figured out is if I put in a memory stream, then that gives me a stream and allows me to write this. That gives me my memory stream. And then here, like I said, we're uploading it, giving it that stream. It does not have to be a memory stream. It could be a file stream. It could be whatever type of stream. It just has to be a stream. Here, memory stream works perfect. And here you can see I'm creating my headers, right? So I'm giving it that MIME type, right? Or in here called content type. That's really important so that the HTML, the browser can get it right. Got what this condition null is. But so we're getting that. I'll run that. There we go. That just saved that image out there. And then the final thing I'm doing, so I'm grabbing my URL. So you can see it's that URL, my object ID, and my image name. And what's nice here, if we were to copy this, this points out the whole purpose we're doing this. So we're gonna get this. And what's really nice here, this is off screen first because I'm gonna, okay, cool. So you can see this is like a note that someone uploaded, all right? Who knows what all that means, but it's a note someone uploaded, and now it's in a blob storage, right? Which makes it, which means I can have the CDN in front of it, so the CDN can cache that and do all the wonderful things it does with all those things. Really, that only matters if they hit the note several times within, in about 12 hours or what have you. But it allows for that. But more importantly, I'm returning that URL. Because now I can, now when we go in here, I get back that. I stepped too far ahead. Oh, I guess I skipped over what I wanted to show. But, when that comes back, let's just go stop this. Oh, that was why I didn't do what I wanted to do. Now what happens, I get that in that note text, the note text now has the URL in that, and then we save that. So that's good. That's good. That's cool. All right. Let's see where we're at. I'm trying to think. It is 1 o'clock. I do try to keep these 12:30 to 1, although I am working on what I'm supposed to be working on, so it's not like I'm rushing to get off. Oh, okay, but I do need to get back to all that. All right, so I think that was a good day. I think we definitely saw some good things here. Go ahead and switch over to our ending stream screen that's showing. Shows that it's showing. Definitely want to thank everyone for showing up today. Let's see, who can we raid? Who's out there? All right, why are my brothers? Let's see here. Who's streaming right now? What is Microsoft Developer talking about? Bots with TypeScript. Well, that could be kind of interesting. What's Brian talking about? WPF apps. Let's throw it over to Brian. All right, that's not really anywhere near what I was working on, but definitely I think a little bit more. Yeah, let's throw it over there. And part of it, I like the Microsoft chat, but I like to watch it, but I don't really interact as much. So go ahead and raid Brian Lagunas. So that I hope everyone has a great day. I hope everyone enjoyed today. Hope you learned something. I definitely did. And with that, like I say, hope everyone has an awesome day. Oh, one last thing before I throw you over. I did forget to show us. Tonight is the Kentucky Remote Workers Meetup. Definitely encourage people to show up for that. Kind of interesting. We're all remote right now, but you know, if you're looking for something to do tonight, this is a good meetup. This is 6 p.m. I think. I'll make sure I say that right. Where's my time? There we go. 6 p.m. Eastern time. All right. Thanks, everybody. So here on that. That's what